So in this video, we're going to go over all the brand new weapons, items, and structures in the Lost Colony DLC pack. And also, this video is sponsored by ARK. If you want to pick up the Lost Colony DLC pack, you obviously know I recommend it. There's going to be a link down below in the description and the pinned comment. And yeah, you can go ahead and pick it up if you haven't already. I have to say, it's kind of strange being sponsored by ARK, but you know what? I mean, my whole channel is kind of like an ad for them, an unpaid ad. So I'm gonna take that money. So the first thing to go over is this snazzy new set of armor. This here is the Arctic armor. And oh my god, they went hard with this. This looks fantastic. It looks so good. It puts the fur armor to shame. So it's unlocked at level 19, and here is what each of the pieces costs. The unfortunate thing is that it's unlocked at level 19, but you need to be level 20 to make the smithy, which is where you're going to need to craft it. And also, you'll need level 20 to make metal ingots as well. So yeah, kind of weird. Maybe they might change it. Comparing this stuff to the regular fur stuff, it's actually almost identical. The only difference is this has 30 armor, whereas the fur has 40 armor. Everything else is identical. It's slightly cheaper in terms of metal ingots, but slightly more expensive in terms of hide. The unfortunate part as well is the fact that the pelt requirement is so high on it. I really hope they change that a little bit, because it's very expensive to make this stuff. And one really cool thing about having the full set equipped is you're going to get this nice little Arctic armor buff right here, which is going to reduce your stamina consumption by 50%. Yeah, that's almost kind of worth dropping a bunch of armor and using this stuff over fur. Next up, we have the hollow decoy grenade. It's unlocked at level 51. It's crafted inside the Fabricator for those resources right there. And this thing is very cool. What you can do is you can chuck it down and it's going to create a little decoy of your character. It doesn't just take a random character. It actually creates a version of you, whatever you look like. So yeah, you can actually chuck it down and it's going to make creatures that normally wouldn't attack things like parasaurs go for it. So you could use this thing to get these creatures into a trap, or even just distract them as you're trying to run away from something. Having some of these on you at all times while running around this map will definitely save you in situations where you need to get away. The next thing is the Fabricated crossbow. It's unlocked at level 58. It's of course crafted inside of the Fabricator for those resources right there. And I have to tell you, this thing is amazing. First of all, the reload animation it goes hard. Seriously, that looks amazing. And yeah, I think I love the style of it. It looks so good. It's got like a couple claws on the side as well, so it's kind of like a bit arky as well. And yeah, I really like it. So first of all, it's got a couple different fire modes. I'm going to come over to this wall here, and I'm just going to spam left click to show you the rate of fire for this thing. I'm currently shooting normal arrows. It does take all types of arrows, and also anything that can go into the spear gun as well. So that means the spear bolts and also the trank spear bolts as well, though they don't work very well on land. So yeah, it loads in 10 arrows at once, and there's a couple different fire modes as well. So that's the standard one right there. We're going to switch it over to the marksman mode, which is kind of almost like a bit of a sniper mode. You get a very much zoomed in radical right there, and yeah, it takes 3 per, and the rate of fire is a lot slower. I'm spamming left click right now, and boom, there we go. So yeah, very slow, but pretty good damage, to be honest. And then, in my opinion, the coolest one is the spread mode. Now, this is kind of just like a shotgun with arrows. Boom, shoots all 10 all at once. We're gonna switch it over to flame arrows, and then also switch it back to the spread mode, and I'm just gonna shoot the arrows up there. Yeah, that's kind of insane. The spread on it's quite a lot, but obviously up close, you're gonna ruin whatever's in front of you. And like I said, you can load in the trank spear bolts and normal spear bolts as well, but in all honesty, I wouldn't bother because they drop so much. I'm just gonna shoot one here. You can see it landed here. So yeah, use those in water if you need to. And I honestly think that just going into the water and spamming like 10 of them in a shotgun mode into whatever you're trying to tame, like a Dunkley or something, could be really useful. I mean, you could also use it on a player, like really up close, you'd probably knock them out from that. And of course, you can put grapples into them. They don't load 10 grapples though, it just loads 1 into the front. And I would assume that when we eventually get the net projectiles, we're also going to go ahead and be able to put them into it as well. I have to say, this is a real amazing piece of kit, and I'm super happy that they finally added something like this, because, yeah, I think we've all wanted this. We just need to find non-primitive versions. Next up, we have the tech spear, and this is also a bit of a game changer. This does things we have not seen before. So obviously this is a tech item, and that unfortunately means that it is unlocked from a Techgram. Yeah, you need to defeat the boss to get this. Although maybe there's other ways of getting it on this map that I have not discovered just yet. But yeah, it's crafted inside of the tech replicator for those resources right there. But yeah, when you pull this thing out, you'll probably want to go into third-person mode because the animations are fantastic. I'm just clicking left click. It does like almost a bit of a combo. And yeah, that looks absolutely fantastic. You can like turn around and everything. You can just like fight everything around you if you wanted to. You can also block by hitting right click, and yeah, you kind of just like hold it up in front of yourself like that. You'll notice a bit of a stamina bar right above my hotbar, and I'm going to show you the deflect mode. So yeah, this is almost like a limited one, and it also makes you move really, really slow. We're going to wait for some of that stamina to come back so I can show you the dodges. So yeah, you can like dodge left, right, back, and forward as well. So I guess you could use the dodge to just like charge forward instead if you wanted to. But yeah, that uses a full bar per dodge. Now, it wouldn't be a really cool spear if you could not throw it, and yes, you can. And it goes pretty far, to be honest. I mean, that's a really good distance right there. You can hit left click to get it to come back to you, but the even cooler thing that you could do is you could teleport to where it's going. So I can teleport by hitting right click, and then when you're in the air, you can do this ground slam attack, and yeah, you just kind of fly down at the ground wherever you've aimed that at, and you kind of just like do this really cool attack into the ground. So yeah, you could like be fighting somebody and then throw this up into the air and then just immediately slam right down on top of them. I feel like the combos are going to be kind of sick. I cannot wait to get really good with this thing. But yeah, that is the tech spear, and oh, it's so cool. It really is the coolest thing. It's also probably a pretty good indicator as to what the combat is going to be like in ARK 2, because they've said it's third person only, Souls-like combat. This definitely feels like a little bit of a prelude to that. So next up, we have the pet display, and it comes in a couple different variations that I'm going to show you. We have two of these like three kind of tiered versions where, yeah, you can have like three creatures on them. While they're on these things, you can pet them, and you can also like rotate them as well if you want to. So yeah, if you want them like facing in certain directions, you can do that. And you can also just come right up to them and then just take them straight off for like really quick and easy access. And it's also just as easy to put them back on. Now, the interesting thing is it's not just shoulder pets. You can put other creatures that you can lift up onto these things. So like dung beetles and dodos and penguins and all that sorts of stuff. The only thing is I don't seem to be able to get them to breed on there. So they've definitely thought about this. If we put this guy back on and now take him off, he definitely already has breeding disabled. So when you put them on, it's going to disable their breeding. That would have been so good if we could have the breed on here, but they definitely knew that we were going to do that, and that's why they stopped it. I'm okay with it, though. In all honesty, it's kind of nice just being able to come up and like pet a dodo, because I don't think we've been able to do that before. So those are the like different towers that you can have. There's also a couple different wall variations. So we have the wall nest, and then we also have the wall bed. Unfortunately, because we're in the snow, everything's covered in snow, so it usually looks like thatch, but yeah, it looks like snow right there. And I've got a vulture in there, and then over here I've got a gloon. What does petting a gloon look like? Ew. Why? Oh no. Now on to possibly the best possible thing that they added, a companion bed. Yeah, they did it. The thing that I've been talking about for like a year, because it was the most irritating thing on Extinction, especially whenever I had Armadoggo, it would just stand in my way all the time, and I would end up punching it and then feeling bad. So yeah, now you can actually have your creatures rest on this bed right here. So whenever you're within this range, you can have your creatures just go straight to it. And I think initially you need to actually make them go onto the bed. So yeah, I could basically just come over here and make my creature go onto the bed. But then in future, whenever we come into our base area, he's going to go to that bed. So just to show you, we're going to leave the range, and our creature is teleporting right now, and it should appear around me. Perfect. And then we're going to go back in, and he should actually go straight back into that bed. Yeah, there he is. And he's on the bed and everything. I've also seen them like lay down and like roll over on the bed, so it's super cute. They don't just sit like this all the time. I'm so happy about that, because I was this close to making that happen. I was like literally, that's on a list of features I was going to add to Vanilla with Sprinkles, but now we don't have to do it, and I'm okay with that. The pet displays are unlocked at level 60, so it's pretty high tier for really not that many resources, and you can craft them straight in your inventory. So next up, we have the medical stand, and this is almost kind of like a different version of a feeding trough. So what you can do with this is you can add in stimulant, blood packs, or narcotic, and then you can do a couple different effects on a couple different creatures. So we can create blood packs using my creature right here, and it's going to take away some of their health, but then it's going to give us some blood packs in here. So it's a little horrifying. I mean, like, that's definitely super horrifying how it looks, but yeah, if you had just a bunch of creatures that you don't need anymore, I'm sure you could just drain them of all of their blood and then just store it all in here. But yeah, let's stop doing that because that feels a little bit not okay. So let's detach that. And now let's actually go ahead and heal that Malwyn. Boom. So it's now getting healed and it's shot into its tail. So that is super cool. Honestly, like, that is going to be so useful for when you're trying to do boss fights and you want to heal everything up. If you don't have a bunch of Daedons, you could just use this instead. And I mean, hey, you don't even need to get blood packs from those creatures. If you had a Desmodus, you could just stock this thing up with blood packs and then heal all of your creatures. Additionally, if you wanted to, you could also go ahead and torpor creatures as well. So if you had narcotic in there or stimulant, you could torpor them. Or, that's not on him properly. Although, don't worry, he didn't fill up by this much. I actually did that manually for something I'm going to show you in a minute. So yeah, this is super cool. I really like this as a new structure, and the range on it is pretty decent considering it has to shoot something out at the creature. Oh, and by the way, that's unlocked at level 60. It's crafted in the smithy for those resources right there. Really not too bad for what it actually does. And I mean, getting a ton of blood packs is going to be super useful, especially on this map. So next up, we have the Cryo Hospital, and this is unlocked at level 75. It has to be crafted in the tech replicator for those resources right there. And this is also a bit of a game changer. So it is a tech item, so you actually have to power it up using a tech generator. It can't use normal power. But what you can do is you can actually chuck in your cryopods into here. You can chuck up to 8 different cryopods. And when the creatures are in there, they're actually going to be getting a little bit of XP over time in addition to normal cryopod XP. But you can see right there, it actually goes ahead and refills their food, their health, and then drains their torpor. So that's why this guy is super hungry, super hurt, and super torpored. So let's go ahead and chuck him in there. And as you can see, probably because he's super hurt, it's showing up as red. And yeah, you can see right there, it's increasing his health quite fast. To be honest, he definitely will be healed up very soon. The food, it looks like it went away. Let me get that back up. The food is slowly going up and really not too fast at all, but that's okay. And then the torpor is, I would say, rapidly draining down. Still going to take a while because that's a lot of torpor, but yeah. This is really cool. I like this as just something, even if you didn't want to heal the creatures and everything, you could just have all like your utility tames like close to the door in one of these, and then it's boom, you know, you just go ahead and open it up. If I can open it up, there we go. And then, yeah, you could grab your Anki or your Dodic or something. I think just in general, it's a really nice way of storing your creatures around your base. I love the look of it. I think this looks amazing. And obviously it's covered in snow, but still, it looks amazing without snow. Next up, we have the Warbench, and this is essentially the tinkering desk, except it uses normal items instead of blueprints. So yeah, it's unlocked at the exact same level of 64 for those resources right there. And then just for comparison, here is the tinkering bench. Pretty sure those are the exact same resources. And this thing does not take tech power. It actually can take regular power. So let's go ahead and pop it on. And yeah, on the inside, you can add in a bunch of items and then basically kind of combine them to gamble for a better item. So right here, I've got a bunch of different long necks, and let's say I have a better one that is better than all of these. I don't need these ones anymore. So if I wanted to, I could gamble just a few of them and see if I can get a better one out of all of these guys. Now, I do believe the way that this works is it actually looks at their item rating instead of actual percentages. The item rating is essentially a different rating that kind of includes both the damage and the durability. So the higher the item rating, the higher both of those things could possibly be. So let's go ahead and combine all 3 of these rifles that I don't need anymore, and we can gamble and potentially get something better than all 3 of them. So the rifle went from Journeyman all the way up to Mastercraft, and even though the damage dropped, the durability actually went up by a good amount, and so did the item rating. I really like this. It's very nice to be able to do this with normal items that we get, because oftentimes you don't get blueprints, you get like just random crap, and then now we can chuck them into here to re-roll potentially to get something better. And speaking of re-roll, it also has the re-roll feature, which unfortunately does take a bit of red element, but yeah, you can basically re-roll the stats and you can gamble to potentially get a better damage if you have really high durability. And yeah, it's pretty useful. We're not going to show you that because it's pretty straightforward. There is also, unfortunately, the chance that you will have that fail and you'll get something worse, but it's all a gamble. This thing is simply for things that you don't really need. I would not put something that you need into this thing ever. And then finally, in terms of the cool new structures, we have the Blood Forge. This is insanely cool. So this is unlocked at level 75 for those resources right there, crafted in the tech replicator. And of course, you do need to power it using a tech generator. So inside of this, if you have the resources, it's gonna go ahead and auto repair whatever you've chucked in there. I basically just pulled all of those resources in and it immediately repaired this crossbow for me. But something else you can do in here is actually reinforce your items. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Reinforcing the item will actually add a little bit of extra durability on top of what it already has. So yeah, you can see right there, now we have a crossbow that instead of having 100 durability, it has 130. So if you just shoot a bunch of metal arrows, that's going to drain this durability by a ton. So now we don't have any more reinforcement on it. And as we can see, it's slightly damaged. We're going to go ahead and pop it in to repair it again. I don't have the resources in there, but I'm just going to go ahead and pull, and it's going to go ahead and auto repair it. But as you can see, it's no longer reinforced. But you can reinforce it right after for the same kind of materials. There is unfortunately one thing I just cannot figure out when it comes to this. It says, seems to react strangely to Volpite. And I know how to get Volpite, but nothing happens when I put it in here. So I'm a little unsure about that. Also, these lights right here seem to light up when you have different things in here that are reinforced. So I had like a bunch of things in here that were fully reinforced, and all those lights were kind of lit up either purple or red. And I'm not sure what the red means. So let's go ahead and reinforce our spear right here. And as you can see, this one shows as red. So I think red might actually mean when it's a tech item. Now, obviously, this may not seem super useful to be using on primitive gear, but let's say you've got a really, really high tier item. You could just reinforce it instead of actually using its normal durability. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool feature. It's definitely very interesting. And yeah, I cannot wait to actually get going and use this all the time. Because yeah, just having extra durability is kind of huge, especially for armor. Okay, so next up we have a bunch of the different lights. So we have 4 variations, and of course they're all crafted from the same thing. Let's light that one up. That is kind of like a bit of a street light. It's really cool looking though. Next up we have the ceiling light. Let's go ahead and attach that right there and light that one up as well. Not too bad. Oh, look at him passed out. Wow. That is hilarious looking. We have the wall light, which is definitely really cool. I like that a lot. And then we have the little desk lamp as well. And that is also pretty cool looking. If you come into your Apply Cosmetics area, you're going to be able to find the Lost Colony folder where you're going to find a bunch of skins, one of which is a full set of skins that look like tech. Of course, I've just put that onto my Arctic armor. It's really cool looking. There's also a version without a cape if you're not into capes, but I think it looks a lot better with the cape. And then right here we have the structure skin, which we'll be showing off in a second. But there's also the tech sword skin, which looks crazy. And then there's this really cool skin that you're gonna have to defeat the final boss to get, and this is for the tech spear. And it looks equally as cool, by the way. Holy crap. So that's pretty much all of those skins, but yeah, let's get onto the actual structure skins. One really cool thing is that they did go ahead and add skins for all of the different storage options. Here is the small storage chest. Here is the larger one. And then here's the vault. The vault looks insane. I love it. I love it a lot. This looks amazing. The only thing is we still don't have anything for the bed. Can we have bed skins? That would be amazing. I hate the stupid normal bed. It looks terrible. And of course, right now we're actually standing on the normal structure skin. So yeah, you can see I've just turned the tech into this right here. It does unfortunately have the snow on it. But yeah, over here we have a bunch of the wall skins. They have a bunch of different variations. Let's switch it to this next one. And then here's the other one where you kind of have like the little windows on both sides. And that looks really nice. Those skins work for absolutely every single like structure piece. So anything from like a gate to a door to a window and absolutely everything. At some point soon, I'm definitely going to go ahead and make a full-on base using all of this stuff. So you can stay tuned to the channel if you want to see that. So there's also skins for the different furniture pieces. So we have the table, we have the bench, and we have the chairs. The chairs look so evil and amazing looking. I love it. Oh my god. And then we also have some cool skins for the signs that I'll show you. So right here we have the small sign. It looks pretty amazing looking. And then we have the billboard right here. And I don't know what it says on those, but I think you should do those things. A few honorable mentions, because obviously we've seen these things. They've been in the game for a little while. We also have the template hammer where you're going to be able to save and store different structures. That's another mana attacking. And then we also have the tech bunker where you're going to be able to make an underground base. It basically kind of hollows out a part of the earth and you're going to be able to create a base that nobody else can get into. But yeah, like I said, these things have been in the game for a little while, so they're not exactly new at this stage. But yeah, that is everything that is in this DLC, not including the creatures, and of course I do have a separate video on those if you're interested. I have to say, this one is jam-packed full of so many amazing things that I would not have thought of. I really like the Bloodforge. I can't wait to get using that. And then also the medical stand, I think is just a really neat, cool addition. So yeah, guys, like I said at the very start of the video, if you want to pick up this pack, there's going to be a link down below in the description and the pinned comment. And yeah, let me know, what do you think is the best new addition from this DLC? Anyway, that's it, and I'll catch you in the next one.